Jessica says, Austin and Robert, I've recently started listening to your podcast and value the wisdom and insight you share with your audience. I'm writing to seek your advice on a strategy for my family as we attempt to rebuild our lives from a difficult financial position. My husband and I have worked hard to build a life for our two children, ages 5 and 9 months, but we've faced significant medical challenges. My husband is a type 1 diabetic and a below-the-knee amputee. He also suffered a near-fatal heart attack at the age of 38. Due to his health, he's often unable to work for several months of the year. After being denied short-term disability insurance, we made the difficult decision for him to stay home and apply for Social Security disability while he attempts to reinvent himself professionally. To stabilize ourselves, we've been aggressively trimming our budget and currently live off-grid with my mother to pay down debt. We have no savings, no mortgage, and a $15,000 car lease. We're also paying back a 401k loan. Our primary financial resource is my reliable income of $32,000 a year after taxes and premiums. We also expect a significant tax refund this year. We recognize that we're in a unique moment in time with the AI revolution, and we're trying to learn as much as possible, but we feel like we're starting from scratch. What advice can you offer someone starting with only a modest income and a tax refund? How should we prioritize this refund and our limited income to finally create a foundation for the American dream that we've been chasing? Thank you for your time and the guidance you provide. Best regards, Jessica K. Oh my goodness, Jessica, I am so sorry to hear about the ups and downs and deep downs that you've been experiencing as a family. Congratulations on the 9-month-old baby. It's very exciting to welcome new humans into the family. I cannot imagine, though, the terror and roller coaster of emotions that came with this near fatal heart attack and now the below the knee amputee and just what's going on. You probably thought you were going to be a widow and the kids. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that this has been your reality. Something that we really strive to do with the show is give people hope. And Jessica, Robert, and I are going to do our best to give you hope. And that hope is going to come in the form of a blueprint, right? A plan, a strategy, something to follow and clearly have actions on. So let's dig into that. You're making $32,000 a year after taxes and premiums. You're expecting a significant tax refund this year, which is very exciting. The first thing I would do is I would create a little bit of buffer between you and life. This means a very small emergency fund to ensure that you do not have to go into high interest credit card debt if you find yourself in a pinch. This means $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, maybe $5,000 sitting in a high yield savings account. This can be on Public, it can be on Wealthfront, it can be on Ally Financial, SoFi. I don't care what you use. Make sure you're earning 3 to 4% on this high yield savings, and it's a couple $1,000s for you there. The goal with this is with your, I don't know, what's going on with your mom, and you got maybe the 5-year-old has a unexpected something where you got to take him to the doctor and this is a $114 visit, or needs a prescription for your husband with their with his diabetes and that's a $400 something. Like, you don't have to swipe a credit card to do that. You can pull that from your high yield savings account emergency fund. So that's the first thing I would do with this tax refund. To be quite honest, I'd probably put all of it, depending on how large it is, into a high yield savings account. So you're starting to have a little bit of predictability. Speaking of predictability, the best way to have predictability in your financial life is to have a budget. This honest budget Robert and I talk about all the time is going to allow you to begin to understand exactly down to the dollar how much money is entering your bank accounts on a monthly basis and how much is leaving your bank accounts on a monthly basis, what that margin is. And once you figure out what that margin is, then you can begin to put it to work. But you can't know the margin unless you got the honest budget and you are actually budgeting on a monthly basis. If you are really trying to, trim down the budget here, get rid of those subscriptions, audit your spending, audit your bank accounts, audit your credit cards, like any Netflix, any, AT&T, $95, heck no, see you later. Visible Wireless, $25, right? Like Mint Mobile, like do whatever you can here to find that $250, $350 per month in your budget that's been hiding in the subscriptions and the other things that you can optimize. Call your insurance companies and say, hey, I'm paying X amount of dollars for car insurance. I'm going to leave unless you give me a better rate. Everything you can do here to find that $200, $300, $400 extra per month in your budget. Now, once you've got that margin, you talked about like, how do you guys kind of build here? You're starting from scratch. Clarity into what you are spending and making on a monthly basis, which means how much margin you have, and then saying, here's the goal I now have with this margin. In my opinion, you don't need to be worrying about retirement investing. You don't need to be worrying about buying a home or no, none of that. You need to have 3 to 6 months of expenses in an emergency fund sitting for you, because disaster is going to strike again, unfortunately, but it will strike just like it does for everybody. And when it does, you're going to have $15,000 between you and a terrible time, right? So with that margin, I want you to then be adding it to this 3 or 4,000 you got from your tax refund and use that to build up your emergency fund to 3 to 6 months of expenses, maybe closer to 6 months. I don't know how much you're spending right now because you said you're off the grid, you don't have a mortgage or rent. Like, pretend you've got those things and put that now into an emergency fund. I think 15 to 20,000 is probably going to, be a good place to be here, but it's totally up to you. And then now you're like, cool, we are doing the right stuff here. We've got our plan. The next thing I want to encourage you guys to do, and then I'll let Robert chime in here. Think about this income. $32,000 a year after taxes and premiums, which means you're probably making $18 to $22 an hour, which, like, nice. That's not bad at all. But I'm thinking about your husband here. I would imagine your husband's a very capable man. He's just had life thrown at him in the wrong ways. And that to me means that perhaps there's a world where he can start doing, some sort of customer support job with call center stuff, or maybe something on his computer, or maybe there's something where he can do online sales for high ticket items, or maybe there's something where I guess I'm trying to say is, like, I understand that he's got a lot, kind of pushing against him right now. And you mentioned the Social Security disability, which I think might have to do with income. So, like, make sure, like, you're not, I'm not a lawyer here, so I don't know all the nuances of that. But if you are earning income and the disability, like, maybe they go against each other. I don't know. But if you can earn money, if your husband can earn money, I would argue between, like, sales, online high ticket item sales, or tech sales, or, customer support, or, there's a lot of things, in my opinion, that you can be doing on just a laptop that you buy on Marketplace for $418 because you haggled them down from $650. That's going to put an extra $200, $300, $400, $600 a month in your bank account because your husband is doing these things. I could be off base here. Those are the places I would start if I were in your shoes, Jessica. Praying for you guys, and thank you so much for listening to the show.
Wow. Heavy question. I would say tactically, you crushed it. I agree with everything you said, and I think you covered all the bases. I'm just going to go a little bit the other side of this from a mindset perspective. Jessica, you are on top of this. Based on how you wrote this question, I know your mindset is in the right place. You had all the buzzwords and all the things. It makes me realize you are ready to fix this problem and do whatever you need to do. So please make sure you're following along with everything Austin laid out. And I just want to add a couple little things, and they're not negative. It's just from where I'm picking up on what you wrote. I would not worry about your husband reinventing himself. I would worry about, like Austin alluded to, if he's capable, even though he's going to have some downtimes and he's going to have some rough patches, I would get a job, any job, working online, working from a laptop, working from home to get revenue. Doesn't have to be a reinvent job where he all of a sudden becomes an AI expert. He can do that on the side. I would get a job to produce income. It can be any one of hundreds of online jobs. That's what I would do first and foremost. And I would also have the tough conversation of, if he's going to be working at home with his condition, then can you go get a second job while he handles the kids while he's working from home, and you have mother present, I'm hoping sometimes, to be able to help along the way as well. So I think your head is in the right place. I commend your efforts and for writing this question and proposing it to us so we can try to add value and help. But I know your mindset's in the right place. Get the budget in order, get the additional revenue up and running, start saving towards the future, and I think you guys will be able to figure this all out.
Yeah, I want to emphasize something Robert said. Any job. You can be making $8, $9, $10, $12 an hour, or $100 or $200 per project. Any money right now is awesome. And there's no job, no project, no nothing that's below your line of, like, what you're working on here. I just pulled up on Gemini, customer service reps at Amazon and CVS, transcriptionist or captioner, platforms like Rev and Transcribe Me, data entry specialist, maybe, virtual assistant, content moderator. Like, this is just what I looked up on Gemini in 2 seconds. Like, go to Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever, and just do a ton of homework to find what is best for your situation. And don't forget, like, you can just talk to these things. Hey, what's going on? I'm Jessica. Here's my husband's thing. Here's like our entire situation. Just talk to it for 2 or 3 minutes. More information, the better. And then allow it to offer you some solutions. So yes, AI is your friend in this situation for sure.